First of all, I made that response at like 5 in the morning while I was scrolling TikTok and I just saw your video. So I can respond however I please. But we can entertain this. So let's start with a couple of things. I don't have an ancestor shrine. I don't do ancestor veneration, and there's like a lot of assumptions just with how you assume other people are practicing and interacting with spirituality. So let's go ahead and clear those things up. Not that I have anything wrong with it, not that I don't interact with my ancestors, but ancestor veneration and stuff like that, that's not inherent to the practice that I do. So I'm really uncertain where I had to clarify what statement I made because the ancestors that you're referencing that were Christian were the ones that had to have it beaten into them, tortured into them, and raped into them. Christianity was not something that was inherent to African and indigenous practices before it got, forced into our belief systems. It's not something that we practice in any capacity. It's not something that we believed in. We had a completely different set of belief systems, a lot more aligned with the concept of us interacting with the divine, us being the divine, us having different spirits and beings and energies that we interact with. But there was never a set religion in the sense of there being like Christianity being the main thing, especially for African descendants. That's just not, there's nothing in the world that points towards that being true. Like, just period. Enslaved Africans were forcibly converted to Christianity. There was no consent, there was no choice, there was no desire to do such. And they were done so by colonizers. Like, I'm not asking, I'm not questioning, I'm not even, this is not something that's up for debate. I'm telling you just how this happened. So if you are unaware of the history, then I would then start to look into our history so we have a little bit of the better understanding of the topic that we're speaking about. But it was forced on us. There is no ancestor that we had that practiced this by their own means. Religion, and especially Christianity, has always been used as a tool and a method to control, especially Black people. And they use the Bible to make us subservient and to make us feel as if we had to adhere to what their belief systems were so that we would be obedient. That's why there's a slave Bible. Like I can't even make this up. There's a literal slave Bible where they literally just took certain texts from the Bible and took it and fed it to us. And then there were quite literal other torture methods where people would like quite literally be subject to physical, actual torture. Like if they would not like follow this belief system. So I would like you to explain to me where you get your information from saying that we followed this before it was raped, beaten, and tortured into our being. I would really like for you to let me know where I might be misunderstanding this. Now, if you're talking about people who use the Bible in hoodoo, then do you know why we started using the Bible in hoodoo? Because it was the best way we could then connect to our older practices that were taken from us. So we used the Bible to then reconnect and reclaim whatever shreds of spirituality that we had in order to have a connection. So even in the context of you referencing hoodoo and people who use the Bible to practice that was still done as a result of colonialism and it being forced on us and us trying to reclaim the power that we had in those circumstances. And you don't even want to get me started on the fact that we use these spiritual practices to cast magic, to cast spells, and to help rebellions, and to do different things that aided us while we were going through that period in time. So please, if I'm somehow misinformed, I would love for you to let me know. Otherwise, I said what I said. It was beaten, raped, and tortured into us, and there's no other reason that we practice it aside from that. So yeah, the ancestors that did practice it, you know what they used hoodoo for? To go back to the roots to the best of their abilities. So catch me up. I would love for you to.